Greetings, I'm Dike Rostant. Welcome back to the TTT News. Calypsonian merchant, he sang that now more than ever we must show the watchwords of our country to be functional articulations of our national ethos. And there has recently been the launch of a trade and business information portal that we go in depth on the potential significance of that move with Chief Technical and Operations Officer at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Randall Karam. Welcome, Mr. Karam. How are you doing?
Very good, Dike. I'm very happy to be part of this interview tonight.
So I want to say congratulations, but let's start from the ground up and tell us a little bit about the trade and the Trinidad and Tobago Trade and Business Information Portal, please.
Dike, the portal is actually the Ministry of Trade and Industry's response to the mandate given under Vision 2030, which is to deliver service excellence and enable competitive businesses. We at the ministry are attempting to do exactly that through digital transformation, which, as you know, is a major mandate given to us and given to the entire public service by the government. The portal is a new, exciting one-stop facility for searchable, accurate, comprehensive, and up-to-date information in the areas of trade, business, and investment. And it actually rests on our flagship TT Business platform, which the private sector and over 4,000 companies in Trinidad and Tobago is currently familiar with. Through the portal, we are hoping to go beyond those numbers and position not only the ministry, but the portal as being the focal point for cutting-edge, up-to-date information in those areas, trade, business, and investment.
I really like the fact that you have that branding behind you. So if at any point in time you're wondering, so where we can find it, you're seeing it right there. But if this portal is the answer, what are some of the gaps that occur and the portal is going to be addressing?
You know, Dike, our ministry has been implementing a series of reforms over the last couple of years to improve the ease of doing business. But as we continue to implement, we continue to listen to the views of our stakeholders. And one of the constant petitions that are made to the ministry is being able to access relevant and accurate information on the main business and trade procedures in the country. Predictability is very important in international trade, transparency equally. And so what the portal is going to be doing is documenting and presenting to stakeholders all of the major import and export procedures relating to trade, but also all of the major procedures relating to business. Importantly as well, it is going to provide stakeholders with up-to-date trade statistics. Not only, I mean, you would know, be working in the media, trade statistics is something that practitioners are always asking, let us get access to information and data to make better commercial decisions. So the portal is going to be providing all of those resources to allow the media, the private sector, and individuals to be able to better make business decisions.
And I really like that point. And it reminds me of an experience. Someone was saying that there was someone moving with a product into space and they were calling it Nova. But if you're trying to penetrate a Spanish-speaking market, Nova means it's not moving. So that's not necessarily the best name for a vehicle. So in terms of like having that data-driven sort of background that you can implement from, I think is really something that is not to be sniffed at. But what are some of those other key features of the portal, and what are some of those things? Answer the person who says, what's in it for me? How can I latch onto this or engage with this and I see the effects that it will be having on my business one time?
Right. So excellent question. The portal is attempting to meet the business needs of individuals, small and medium-sized enterprises, as well as the large multinationals. It is designed and structured in three main functional areas: trade, business, and investment. And when one goes to the portal, which is very easily accessible on www.ttbusiness.gov.tt, and there are no pre-registration requirements or enrollment procedures. It's totally free and online. And in each of those functional areas, we have a series of tools, and I will just give you a couple of them which might be of more interest to the general public. In the area of trade, persons will be able to go online and easily type in or do a search for the major import-export procedures for the commonly imported items into Trinidad and Tobago, whether you're at home trying to import a motor vehicle or a refrigerator, or air conditioning, or plants, animal products. You can go online, typing the relevant words, and find all of the detailed business procedures associated with importing and export. What are all of the documentation? If those services are already available online, you'd be able to send in your application online, and you would see the expected time frames, the payments to be made, as well as what are the expected outputs. We have also simultaneously, or in parallel to that, documented the business procedures. If you want to start a business in the country, what are the steps? If you're an existing business and you need to expand, what are all of the relevant post-incorporation procedures and steps? And as I indicated, we are providing very powerful tools in collaboration with the International Trade Center. It's something called trade maps, where persons can, if they have an idea, a business idea, they're looking to expand their business, they're looking to import some new items or source new raw materials for their business, they can go online, utilize the tools, and identify all of the market intelligence. You use a great example about the experience of Nova. Business intelligence is very important in international trade. And through the portal, you will be able to go and understand all of the tariff rates with importing. What are the tariff rates abroad? If you're a medium-sized SME here in Trinidad, you're making pepper sauce or confectionery, and you want to export, you can actually go onto the portal and ascertain the external demand for your product. And more importantly, if I'm going to export a new market, what are the market requirements? What is the labeling standards? What is the SPS standards? So the portal provides, as I said, a plethora of tools for persons and businesses of all sizes to grow and expand.
I really like the fact that there's that real-time data that you can operate from, because I even see the opportunity for some business-minded individuals to go on and see, okay, well, what are some of the trends right now? So if I'm looking at the trends, I don't necessarily want to be a late adopter. So am I going to try to shoot the gap to have a business idea going with, or am I seeing, okay, well, these are what some of the individuals, or this is what is happening at this point in time. But when you said giving the rundown for business startups, giving that itemized process, does it also cater to different types? Because you just spoke about SMEs, but some people would want to be a sole trader. Some people might want to start off as a limited liability company. Right. Do you even talk about the differences of those things and then say, okay, well, these are some of the pros and cons of this. These are some of the pros and cons of this. So people walk in with their eyes wide open.
Yes, and in fact, what we took a lot of time to do in designing and implementing the portal is to really do exactly what you're alluding to, which is to understand the needs of various segments of business on the portal. And if you are thinking about registering a business, we have documented all of the various types of businesses. You spoke about whether you're for profit or not for profit, sole proprietorships. If you're incorporating a company versus registering a business, we have, identified and documented all of the various types of business possibilities, and have documented what are the various steps and the associated timeframes and outputs and procedures that all of those different businesses would be interested in.
Very glad to hear. And I think on this point, we take a short break. We are discussing the information and trade and business information portal. We're doing so with Mr. Randall Karam. Stay with us. We return with more. Welcome back. We are going in depth on big new things happening in Trinidad and Tobago, game changers in the industry. And I do not use that word lightly. We're speaking about the Trade and Industry, or the Ministry of Trade and Industries Trade and Business Information Portal. And we are doing so with Chief Technical and Operations Advisor at the Ministry, Mr. Randall Karam. Now, I want to get a little idea of timeline, please, Mr. Karam, in the sense that if this has happened, the launch has happened, what kind of timeline do you expect or hope for in terms of the narrative changing with the ease of doing business in Trinidad and Tobago? And this is possibly anecdotally on a local level, or even the way that we are graded on some international indexes.
Well, Dike, I can tell you, since the launch of the portal on less than 48 hours ago, we have already received over 2,000 visits to the website. Part of getting recognition and claiming success is ultimately adoption and recognition. We have been working very closely in the design of the portal with our international partners in the World Trade Organization, the International Trade Center. The recommendations that we have adopted for the design of the portal actually conforms to multilateral standards. We've received excellent interest from the business community, because the more persons go online and utilize the services of the portal, the word will spread. And success builds upon success, and we are hoping that in the shortest possible time period, once persons believe that the portal is actually making a difference in their operations, that success is replicated ultimately. The reality on the ground will ultimately reflect in all of those major international indices.
And I guess people help to build it, like you just said, so success builds upon success. But with that in mind, what plans do you have in terms of keeping it relevant? Is it a matter of analysis tools and methodologies? How is that? Will that be taking place?
Well, Dike, that is an area that the ministry has really been working behind the scenes to ensure that the portal remains relevant and has up-to-date information. I think everyone in the public is probably sick of going to a government website and seeing outdated information. So we've really put in place a very detailed governance framework within the ministry. This is just not a product or service of one department of the Ministry of Trade and Industry. The entire ministry have embraced the portal, and we have really decentralized the management and maintenance of the portal to all the departments within the ministry, all of the technical officers who will be responsible for integrating the portal into their daily operations, monitoring the portal's content. But not only the internal governance arrangements, the ministry have really been working to develop interoperability between the portal and all of the relevant government departments that has content that can be utilized in real time. So for example, I spoke to the trade statistics on the portal. Those trade statistics are going to be pulling from the data that the CSO is producing. The CSO has made phenomenal strides over the last couple of years to bring the trade statistics in the country up to date, and we will be pulling directly from when the CSO updates their data, this portal will update its data. Similarly, on the portal, another important feature for us is getting all of the current legislation and laws relating to trade and business, and that is already very well maintained at the Office of the Attorney General's website. So we will be pulling from, in terms of our the HS tariff finder, the Customs and Excise Division updates that information in real time on a weekly basis. And therefore, the portal is going to be pulling that information as it updates. So we're relying on a very robust governance framework and strong interoperability between the portal and other systems within the government to ensure that the content is always updated.
Well, I am glad you say that, Mr. Karam, because I wanted to come with some bacchanal. Because, sometimes you have this bright, shiny new toy or thing that you've just launched and working with, but at the same time, it doesn't mesh well. So there are other silos that if you want to get something outside of that thing that you've just created, you need to go. We're hearing, and I don't necessarily want to call it horror stories, but we're hearing the experiences of persons saying, okay, well, I just got this form. I was able to fill it out online, but then I need to physically carry it in. Or when they carry in the form, they realize that form is an old form and it hasn't been updated on the website. So I'm grateful that you're talking about how these things are engaging with each other, and interoperability is very important. It's kind of crucial. But with regard to that though, you spoke about the amount of hits that you've had in less than 48 hours. What are people saying though, business community? Are you getting any reactions from them as to the portal?
You know, the ministry Dike has received an amazing response from the business community. I spoke about the 2,000 visits to the website. One of the things we are doing is analyzing the analytics and tracking the visits. We are seeing visitors from as far as Singapore and Thailand and throughout Europe coming to the portal. And they're searching all of the various tools and utilizing the various features of the portal. At the launch on Wednesday, we were really privileged to have had all of the major business associations, the TTMA, the Chamber of Commerce, and some of the smaller ones, the Cooper Point Lisa, Sama Business Association, the Shogunas, AmCham. And that only underscores how important the business community sees the portal as being able to assist them to grow and expand. And we are very happy that the private sector recognizes that the portal can be a catalyst for increased private sector interest and business success by really providing that accurate technical information in which to help those companies be able to make better decisions in the local and international marketplace.
I like the fact that you spoke about different sizes of organizations coming in and engaging with you. And it makes me think that sometimes that size can be relative. So if you have your sights set on just trying to create a business, so you're not on scale with some of these Chamber of Commerces, and you're just trying to get your feet off the ground. Take us through those steps again, please. I have an idea for a business.
Right.
How can this portal help me? Because eventually I may scale up my mental sort of processes to say, well, possibly this is something that I can export at one point in time. But even before I'm there, just take me through those steps again, please. How does the portal help me start my business?
Right. So having a business idea is, I guess, the first start of entrepreneurship. But of course, one has to, formalize the idea in terms of a business establishment. The portal can easily be accessed, as I said, through www.ttbusiness.gov.tt. And if persons want to understand or be aware of the steps to even register a business, they can simply go to the portal and type in steps to register a business under the business procedures area of the portal, and they will find, if my memory serves me right, there are about 6 or 7 steps to register a business in Trinidad and Tobago. That process has been phenomenally transformed through the Ministry of the Attorney General over the last few years. But they will find all of those procedures starting from a name reservation, reserving the name of your business, submitting your business registration documents, paying online, and ultimately receiving your business registration certificate. But registering a business leads one to the next step. Where can I establish? Where can I be possibly located? And on the portal, persons will be able to find information as to existing economic spaces in Trinidad and Tobago that offers space for tenancy, whether it's through ETEC or whether it's through the State Commission of State Lands. And also, persons will obviously be wondering, well, what sort of incentives that exist or what the government provides for my sector, my sector of interest. And the portal provides as well detailed information, whether you're in agriculture, construction, tourism, the creative industries, maritime industries, any area within the non-energy sector. Persons will be able to select from an easy menu, drop-down menu, and be able to get all of the various government support. And we are lucky in Trinidad that the state provides a number of critical business support programs and tools to help businesses grow and expand. And you will be able to access the information, find out all of the application procedures, the eligibility criteria. And So it's more than just the steps to register a business. It's the actual areas of investment opportunities, the area of incentives, the application procedures. And of course, as we spoke about previously, if you need data as to, okay, well, where can I get raw materials for my business? You can go onto the data and ascertain, all of the rates of duties associated with that business, importing products for your business, that is. And also, if you're looking at exports, you can actually see, okay, where's the market demand for my potential product? So we are really catering from this conceptualization of the idea, which ultimately results in registration of a business, incorporation of a company, incentives, economic spaces, and business support programs to help you grow, and statistics to help you expand.
No, the proof of the pudding, Mr. Karam, is in the eating, but at the same time, this sounds very exciting. And I love the fact that it seems as though it's something that seems that a lot of thought has been put into it to make it functional, because I guess then again, we're talking about the ease of doing business as well. So right. Hopefully we have another conversation a little further down the road to see where we are. Possibly we can speak with some individuals who have benefited directly from interacting with the portal. But I want to thank you very much, Randall Karam. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you for joining us.